Hello and welcome to the O'Rourke Report. Let's jump right into it. We're going to go first with this week's Beverly Hills because it really didn't have much, except to say Dorit is aggressively pursuing um, Kyle. And I can't help but think there's more behind the scenes that we don't know. Like, since when all of a sudden do you discover uh, these shortcomings of Kyle? They've always been there. I mean, there was no big reveal as to why, or if there was, I'm not remembering it. Miss Chloe, there shall be no scratching of the furniture. Are we agreed? Thank you. My little Chloe. Um, oh yeah. No big reveal as far as I could see. What has made her Dorit so aggressively go after Kyle to the point that she's demanding others, in this particular case it was Erica Jane, pick a side. You're gonna be on my side or you're gonna be on her side. And Erica Jane is trying to play, both. She's trying to straddle that fence, and Dorit's not having it. So that's about all I can say about Beverly Hills. Dorit is aggressively going after Kyle. Okay, let's go on to RHONY. And like I said, the show is repulsive. Cast members are repulsive. There's so much not to like about them. This latest one was, hinted as being one of the worst fights you've ever seen on any of the housewife shows. It was a pretty bad fight in that the women, again, they're all down in Puerto Rico, and there's another fight between Uba, who is a fighter. She screams, she causes trouble, she overacts, and Brinn, who has been baiting Uba, and Uba is taking the bait each and every time. She ratchets it up, Brinn ratchets it up, and the women are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because, okay, here, the main argument was uh, Uba makes claims against Brinn that she slept with somebody to get this job, to get this position, get this housewife position. And Brinn acts all sorts of offended, as though anyone could think something like that about her, despite her relentless, over sexualized, coquette behavior. That's not a stretch for anyone to think she did something like that, or that there's, you hate to think there's somebody in production that's that creepy, but and that's not why these women are hired. They're hired to cause controversy and have there be something to talk about and stir the pot. She certainly does that. She didn't have to sleep with anybody to get that job. Brinn does all that more. So anyway, that is what started the fight. Is Uba accuses Brinn of doling out sexual favors in order to get a job on the housewife. And then Brinn pulls out her trump card, which we've seen once or twice this year, that she had been the victim of sexual abuse at one point. SA, as they call it on YouTube. I hope I don't offend the YouTubian overlords. So that's her trump card. It's supposed to shut down all conversation. And again, and I've said this before, that it's kind of creepy the way you sexually conduct yourself. I really don't think he can have both, Brinn. I don't think he can claim to be a victim of abuse, yet act out sexually like you do. Like, who could forget it? Just the episode before, her wallowing on the beach in front of a poor teenage lifeguard, or certainly he looked like he was 18, 19 years old. He could have been 20, 21. But her rolling around on the ground, offering herself up to the sky, it was repulsive. Like so much on this show is repulsive. So anyway, this big fight occurs. Brinn pulls out her trump card. So the women then turn on Uba, saying, "Oh, you should have never said that. You know she was abused. Oh, you should have." And then Uba hits the ceiling, claims she had never heard that story before. She doesn't know what these women are talking about, and she's a screamer. And this is all happening after the cameras had shut down for the night. So you're dealing with the security cameras that are on the ceilings and the walls of the various rooms that they're going back and forth in. And so you got a good idea of what it's. So Uba claims this has not happened and blah, 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 blah. And the women all gather around Brinn. And Brinn then makes the claim that, well, maybe she didn't tell Uba, or Uba didn't, as the way Brinn puts it, so clever, so cute. She didn't clock it when Brinn had told her about the abuse 2 years ago. And all the women, immediately have this shared experience of understanding on a very visceral level that, holy shit, Brinn bullshitted. Brinn knows she never told Uba. And meanwhile, they'd just all been pounding on Uba for the past hour. So they all have this, kind of shocked moment when they understand that Brinn's been playing them. That this is Brinn stirring the pot, and Brinn bullshitted, and Brinn set Uba up. So everything changes. All the women in their individual confessionals, they're discussing this moment. They all say at that moment, everything changed for me. So the way the episode ends is Brinn decides that she wants to go home. So they show the next morning. Brinn is all packed. She's sitting around with production. In the morning, again, these cameras that are on the walls and the ceilings, it's not the camera crew is not up and running yet. In fact, they're sitting around in the kitchen having breakfast. Brinn is lounging around, happy, doing her little flirt with the crew, and you'd say to yourself, who is this girl? Wasn't she just in abject tears saying that how dare somebody talk to her like that? She would, considering her history, and there, a couple of hours later, she's just fine. She's just fine, waiting for her car to come and pick her up and take her to the airport. So all the other women get a chance to talk amongst themselves without Brinn around, and they all look at each other and they know that they've come to the same conclusion, and that they owe Uba a big apology. So they gather Uba in, and they tell her, what they had witnessed the night before, and they came to the conclusion that Brinn had been lying all along. So that's how the season ends, and then we get little snippets of the reunion, which is going to come up this Tuesday, and all guns are blazing for Brinn, and there are a couple of shots of Brinn, who I've always said she's the best dresser on the show. She's adorable, despite her over-sexualized behavior. She's a gorgeous girl, and boy, I've never seen her look so rough. Gee, boy, she's going through some things. So it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be interesting to see the reunion, or because I don't know. I don't look forward to someone being torn to shreds. It looks like they're gonna tear her to shreds. I don't know how ugly it'll be. I hope there's some compassion somewhere. I don't know where the resolution's gonna be. It's a mess. Okay. Before I go on to Salt Lake, which I really I'm going to stay on one subject, and it's something that's I've kind of spoke about a little bit over this past year. I am going to say Ally Lewber, Lewber, who, and you may say, who? This is the one that was going out with James Kennedy at Vanderpump Rules, the one who kept I always was under the impression that the only reason she's dating James Kennedy is to be on television and try to get something happening in her career. Her career being, she'll read your horoscope for you. Yeah, Ally Lewber horoscopes. And and it was really kind of off-putting to me always, that relationship. Hello, Miss Chloe. That's enough of that. She's a little whippadoodle today. Um, she has issued a statement that while she's so happy James is getting the help that he needs, they are no longer going out. Okay, hopefully that means we will never hear from Ally Lewber again or see her again. I just hope so. Because guess what? When you do something for inauthentic reasons, it's probably going to blow up on you. And it did on her. And now here's another idiot, just like Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval. She bought the house with James Kennedy. So how are they going to scramble out of that deal? This is the house of you, which is so from the LAX's flight pattern. They're gonna have to sell that house, and hopefully she'll get her money back. But if she doesn't, let that be a lesson to you. You get girls and gals and boys out there. Be very careful when it comes to commingling the money, unless you're in it for the long haul. So anyway, let's go on to Salt Lake reunion. First episode of the reunion is going to three-parter. The women, for the most part, all looked good. Although I gotta give it to, and usually I can't stand it because she's so dramatic. Security. Meredith Marks. Wow, her makeup was perfect. If you get a chance to see any of that, her makeup's perfect. She literally looks like she's 28 years old. And she doesn't look like a 45-year-old who just looks young. She looks 28 years old. And her gown is gorgeous. Of course, her figure is gorgeous too. And so I got to give best dress to Meredith. And worst dress, wow. What's going on with Whitney Rose? I have never seen her look so rough. I mean, she's one of those, I don't want to say not bright, but I'm going to say ill-advised women who tat themselves up all over the place. So if they're wearing an elegant gown, there's some garish little tat coming out the side of the arms and the head. Not only does she look like a biker chick that was road rough and put away rougher, I just never, what's going on there? What's going on there? Was the fact that the Alibaba thing, was she exposed in buying 50-cent necklaces and selling them for $50? I think so. I would guess. Because I don't think the husband works anymore. The husband lost his job because of the way they acted on the show. Highly sexualized. They had mud baths, writhing around on the floor together. Oh, the guy lost his job. This is Utah. These are a bunch of Mormons. They don't like that crap. So anyway, the big story of the reunion to me. Now, I have been trying to figure out Bronwyn and her former HP president hubby since the beginning. And I think it's very telling. You remember they put on this whole big show of him buying the $4 million, was it a necklace? A necklace. There was something, they had a jeweler come in and show them something for $10 million and something for $4 million. They made a big thing of buying the $4 million necklace, which was still, when I looked up this guy's net worth, it was still almost a quarter of his net worth. When you're spending a quarter of your net worth on a necklace for your wife, the wife wore the necklace to a dinner party they had. I questioned the quality of the diamonds at the time. thinking that there should be a lot more sparkle for that many carats, and it is the carat, the weight, and clarity that's going to drive the price of the necklace. But the whole thing, they made a big deal like, ooh, he's so loaded. He buys this, a multi-million dollar present and that she wears it. Well, God love Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow's got the facts. She never purchased the necklace. Andy is talking to her, Bronwyn, about the necklace. Bronwyn is answering as though she has the necklace. Very smug, very assured. And Lisa Barlow pipes in that she knows the jeweler, someone named Emma, and she never purchased the necklace. And then Bronwyn backpedals, right live, Andy's there, everything, saying, well, that's true. It was a little too loud for me, so I had them cut it down and we did a bracelet and earrings. Barlow pipes in again. You never bought those either. And Bronwyn can't contradict her because Bronwyn knows that Lisa is right. Lisa's got the facts. So I don't know what Bronwyn's thinking is, that she's going to go on television, claim that she has all these things, and when it was easily found out that she didn't. Salt Lake City is a very small town, and everybody knows everybody. I already said that I think they're all related because they semi look like each other, and that's the little whoopsie inbreeding problem. And so I'm like, what is Bronwyn's thought process on this? Why does she think she's going to get away with this? And why does she think... And then she quickly backpedals and changes her story completely. And now that's the story we're supposed to believe. Well, it turns out that story is a lie as well. So later that night, to me, that was, boy, those were, I have right here. I have right here. Where is it? Direct hit. Lisa did a direct hit, and it was a devastating hit. Major damage. Bronwyn, after the jewelry debacle, so after the jewelry debacle, Bronwyn is next one up in the hot seat with Andy. Andy kind of goes from housewives to housewife in these reunions. And we'll ask the questions that, he and his staff and, social media have been asking for the duration of the show. And boy, oh boy, she didn't blink an eye. She just got major, major damage. And she doesn't blink an eye. There's not one sense of anything's wrong as Andy is asking her questions. And I think to myself, boy, she's just another level. And the other thing that Bronwyn, and this is her husband, who was in the audience at Watch What Happens Live, so he was piping up as well. First of all, let me just tell you that I think that Todd appears to be entirely enthralled with Bronwyn. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Why is this guy who's got a lot of business gravitas, his bona fides are good, solid bona fides, why is he so invested in this show? Not in the show, but in defending some stuff that is really indefensible. Why is this so important to this too? Which now gets us back again to the necklace, which was never his to purchase and he never did buy. What was that performance about? You didn't have the money, you didn't buy it. Why did you want to portray that you had the money to do that? Which says to me, they're both more in this game for the fame and the recognition and to maybe generate and power up something else because their life is a sham. The life they're putting forth is a sham. The facade they're putting forth is a sham. So they got to go in full bore to try to make this happen. He has Bronwyn's back 110, and Bronwyn's got nerves of steel when she's caught, when like she's devastated in an answer, completely annihilated. Didn't even try to contradict Lisa Barlow because she couldn't. The facts were out there. So it makes me suspect of those two and their motives. The other thing, they go hardcore. This is Todd and Bronwyn are going hardcore in on Elisa, inferring that Lisa spread a lot of rumors about Bronwyn's daughter. Sort of background: Bronwyn is a young teenager. I think she was 19 years old. Got pregnant by a married man. Um, the married man, of course, didn't leave his wife. She had the child initially, according to what those parents told Lisa Barlow, and apparently Lisa Barlow is very friendly with those parents. The parents initially told Lisa Barlow that they were told that Bronwyn had miscarried. They did subsequently find out that Bronwyn did have the child, but it still had nothing to do with Bronwyn, had nothing to do with the child. They now regret that decision. And when Lisa Barlow discovered the connection, I still find it hard to believe she didn't know the connection prior. This is a very small town, like I told you, but that's the story they're sticking with. And Bronwyn's sticking with that story as well, that there's a possibility that it was, Lisa, as Lisa says, she recognized a picture of in Bronwyn's possession, which told her, oh my God, this is the child of my friend. This is the grandchild of my friend. So anyway, so Bronwyn and Todd go in hard, making it sound like Lisa was spreading rumors about a miscarriage. Lisa didn't spread any rumors about a miscarriage. The grandparents claimed initially that they thought that Bronwyn had miscarried, and then subsequently they found out that she hadn't. But don't blame Lisa for that. But boy, Bronwyn and Todd go in hard on Lisa on that, and I kind of felt sorry for Lisa Barlow because she said, "Listen, they're both great people. Bronwyn and Todd are great people. The grandparents are great people. I just was hoping against hope I could somehow get them together." And I think she was sincere on that. I don't see anything other than sincerity when she talks about it. Okay, so Bronwyn and Todd, why set up the whole diamond shopping spree scene in the first place when you didn't have the money, you're never going to be able to pay for it anyway. Very suspect. Very suspect. So that's all I have to say for that. There was one little thing that Bronwyn after Julie DeBach's next song. Okay, Mary spoke up for Heather on something which I thought was very touching. This one quick little thing about Mary. I think this season we are seeing the real Mary. This is not Mary changed. This is who Mary was all along. And the first two seasons that Mary was on, I think she was on season 1, skipped 2, was on 3, or maybe another one. That was some persona she had been up. I don't know who that was. I think this girl we're seeing right now is the real Mary Cosby, and there ain't anything wrong with her. And when she speaks up, I listen to her. Okay, boom. Watch What Happens Live. We went through that. Todd appears. Julie Gwenddaughter, very hot points too. Yeah. Yeah, it's very important that Bronwyn play the victim, and she is sticking through it as tough as she can. She wants to appear to have been victimized by Lisa Barlow over her daughter, and that's just plain not what happened, not the way I'm reading it. Team Lisa Barlow on that one. So anyway, boy oh boy, I am just going to go on real quick to Salt Lake City. The Karens. The Karens are, of course, the gossipy, horrible girls in the office that are trying to make this poor guy Matt's life miserable. Succeeded only in crushing the wife. succeeded in only making Matt and his wife stronger together, and the wife is calling them out on their behavior. And it's interesting. I like the show. Malaysia is just not a very nice person. She's the one that looks like half of the secret lives of Mormon wives and a couple of the other people on Salt Lake. Again, this is what I'm saying about everybody there being related. And Nicole is the name of Matt's wife, and she does this whole confessional and she questions Malaysia's moral compass. Yeah. Malaysia's moral compass is not so fabulous. So, still continues to begin. I kind of like the show. All right. Listen, that's all we have for today. Our next visit, we'll talk about our Southern Charmed folks and what the goings on down there in Charleston. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you like the story, please hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost a thing. Just hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. Beep. Hit that like button and you will help me out tremendously with my YouTubian overlords. Thank you so much. And I will see you here next time on the O'Rourke Report.